Hello, my sexy muffins, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we are doing Slenderman, as you can tell from the title, with pregnant female listener. So, in this, you are the female listener, and you are pregnant with Slenderman. Now, these are going to start off with headcanons and traits that are not his base headcanons and traits, but specifically what he would be like with a pregnant listener, aka you. So we're going to get into that and then possibly a scenario in the next half. If not, I apologize. Anyways, let's do this. So, also, I hope that you're all having a great New Year's and all that good stuff. And tell me, what would you like to see Creepypasta was? And I will do my best to do it. Thank you. Now, let's get on to business. Disclaimer. Slenderman is not a real person, obviously. He is a creepypasta, and we're doing it based on various people that have added to his creepypasta lore. Yes. Disclaimer number 2. Slenderman is not Yandere in canon. This is just for fun and not to be taken seriously at all. Simping for fictional characters and fictional Yanderes and fictional monsters is fine. Just do not be illegal or gross about it. You know who you are. And remember to separate fiction from reality and headcanon from canon. Yanderes are not ideal partners to have in real life, and neither are creepypastas or monsters like this. If they were real, even though we all would be monster frickers for Slenderman, 100%. Anyways, let's do this. So, what is specific about Slenderman with being Yandere with a pregnant listener? First of all, he would have gotten the listener pregnant somehow. I'm not going to go into detail because YouTube guidelines. So YouTube cannot get details on the baby making action. Obviously, baby making action happened, and I will leave it to your imagination. Can I say that in YouTube guidelines? Leave it to my viewers' imaginations. Anyway, muffins, let's hope that is. Anyways, so after he did put a baby inside you, and you are pregante, he is going to be super overprotective and hovering. He is going to be watching you like a hawk. Very much so, because he needs to make sure that you and his offspring are okay. Of course, he is hovering and making sure also his proxies are keeping you safe when he's not around. At least 2 of them at a time. He wants to keep you safe no matter what, and he knows other creepypastas like Azalgo would be very happy to destroy you and ruin you, in the sense of having you ruined so that they get to Slenderman. So obviously, it is not going to happen where you have to be safe, and you wouldn't be allowed to leave his mansion in the woods in the creepypasta forest at all, because he wants to keep you safe at all costs. And he would have limited people of who could be around you. Also, other traits that he has would be, oddly enough, belly touching. He would love to touch your belly, and also, since he has creepypasta abilities, he would be able to talk to his child inside your womb and see what the baby needs without knowing. So he would be able to tell if the baby is okay and safe, so you wouldn't need to go to a doctor at all. You would have Slenderman be your doctor, basically, which is weird. But I'm sure it's a headcanon for someone somewhere. And all that stuff. He would also be super loving and doting on you and making sure that you are safe. He would also love to hold you close with his hand on your belly and just even send in your baby's thoughts into your head so you knew your baby was okay as well. Very touchy, very feely of the belly. And yeah, that's pretty much it for now, except for if someone were to hurt you, they would not just be unalive, they would be tortured for years, breaking their mind before they get dead. Unalived. Anyways, yes, so that's that. And you obviously have accepted his feelings because you are pregante with his child. It's going to be consensual pregante. So, yes, this is a consensual relationship where you have accepted his love and that you are with him 100%. And that is what it is. Now, on to the scenario, because we have time. Scenario. You sit on Slenderman's lap as he has his stomach on his hand on your flat stomach. Sorry, got them switched around. He would smile if he could as he leaned his head onto yours. What is it, you ask, looking out at him? Am I sick? You ask him, you did not know you were pregnant, but he did now, and he just felt your child's spirit inside of you. We're pregnant, he says, sending his every time he speaks, he's sending his thoughts into your head. You blush at that, but how is that possible? Or how are you able to? You blush as you remember the vigorous lovemaking you guys been having, and pretty much you didn't think this was a possibility that something like Slenderman could have offspring. But of course he did. And you were now pregnant with this offspring. What will they be like, you ask, a bit worried? You did not know what a human and a fae type of mythological creature or creepypasta that Slenderman is could have children, and what they would be like with a human. I do not know. We will learn as the pregnancy goes on, but do not worry, they will be perfect, just like their mother, he says, and presses his where his lips would be to your head. You lean into him and hold his hand. You were scared out of your mind, and he could tell this. Do not fret, little one, he says, holding you closer and rubbing your belly. I will always protect you and our children, no matter what, he says. He left in the air that he would hurt anyone that dared even try to look at you guys the wrong way. He was already thinking of plans to keep you safe. You like to walk out in the forest too much. You wouldn't be able to do that, and he didn't want you hurt. He also didn't want to force you to stay in the room if he didn't have to, so he would have to find an agreement for something. Darling, he says. Yes, Slenderman, you ask? I want you not to leave the mansion at all. But why, you ask? The forest was safe, right? I just worry that if anyone finds out that you were pregnant with my child, they may try to hurt you and our child to get to me. You nodded your head. Did make sense, and you did not want anything to happen to your child. Okay, I promise. You hoped that you wouldn't get too restless. Being able to walk in the forest freely was your only freedoms that you have since you decided to be Slenderman's mate. Well, that's what he called you sometimes. It was weird to you, but you were basically his wife at this point. I promise. You just hoped you wouldn't get too restless. He kisses you again, and he tells you that if you do try to leave, he would remind you that you had to stay in line. You shuddered at the thought. When you first came here, you were more or less kidnapped until you fell in love with Slenderman. He was never awful. He never forced you into anything. He more just abducted you from your abusive boyfriend and then gave you everything that you needed. It was a real plus up, and you didn't even have to worry about rent. And in this economy, that's great. You were given everything you need. Anything you wanted from your past life was brought to you. You did miss your family, though, and you wondered, briefly, what would you do if you couldn't have your parents see your child? You wanted to see them, to at least tell them that you were doing good. You hoped Slenderman didn't hear that because you were wondering if you could leave the forest and see your family. Anyways, that is it for part one. And if you want a part two, comment part two, and I will hopefully do it at some point. Again, I know I suck at doing part twos and part threes and part fours and part fives. I know I have a lot on my plate, and I have to get that done as well. So I will try to do a part two if you want to see it. If not, it'll just be left as this. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed, and Patreon outro. Patreon outro. Thank you, Gav, for being my first patron. You're wonderful, beautiful, stunning, gorgeous. Thank you, Gav. And thank you, Wicked Brony, for being my second patron. You're wonderful, beautiful, stunning, gorgeous. Thank you, Wicked Brony. I hope that you both enjoyed this, and I hope that you all enjoyed this, and stay sexy, all my sexy muffins. Bye bye. Secret outro time, secret outro time, secret outro time, secret outro. Now, if you had a working uterus, being male or female or non-binary pal, would you want to have Slenderman's child? Or if it was male pregnancy, other than just having a uterus where you have a different type of thing, like in some fandoms and stuff, would you want to have a child with Slenderman? I would not be fully against it, but I also would have severe panic attacks with how the child would turn out, for sure. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this, and stay sexy on my sexy muffins. Bye bye!